welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Dejan Gajsek, co-founder of Grow and Scale. It's a competitive and sales enablement service. Welcome to the show, Dejan.
Thanks, AJ. Happy to be here.
You are welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, a lot of people globally will be able to benefit from what we are going to understand, winning the game of sales and marketing from you. And so talking about your company, Grow and Scale, it's a competitive and sales enablement service. First, help us understand, Dehan, what exactly is this competitive and sales enablement service?
Yeah, of course. Competitive and sales enablement just basically means helping sales teams to close deals faster. And we do this with like research the competitors and find the strengths and weaknesses of you versus a competitor, and then figure out what needs to be produced in terms of content and what should sales say on the prospect call to increase the chances to close that big deal, because there's a lot of competition outside and you need to show why you're the best fit for your prospect.
Right. So how does one get started with this, competitive and sales enablement service? How do you people onboard clients for this particular thing when you do it?
Yeah, in our case, we work with B2B tech companies, so that companies that are in very competitive space. So how we do it, we research first with our client, what is their best positioning statement, where are they the best? And then we ask them, hey, where are you losing deals? And every company usually have like 3 or 4 biggest competitors that they lose deals to, and they want to fix that. So when we come in, we figure out, hey, who are the people that you're losing deals to? We talk to salespeople, we talk to product departments, and they tell us, okay, here are our gaps. And then we use that data from the client, and then our team go and search from secondary sources. How do we get competitive edge? And that means looking at trust, pilot reviews, G2, Qatar reviews, social media alerts, keyword alerts. We try to do anything possible to figure out what could bring us an edge. And then in the next step, we create content. So for sales departments, we create so-called battle cards. So something they can bring up on the sales call and know exactly what to say to tip the chances of a successful sale in their favor. But this also goes into other content that is being produced. So it could be an account-based slide deck. It could be enhanced corporate narrative, product teardown, internal newsletter, anything that we can get that we can support and increase the revenue for our client.
Right, Dehan. Now, in terms of, when talking about the sales success, you talk about that it hinges on the strategic competitive intelligence. So, how do you manage that part when you are talking about, sales enablement service? How do you integrate both the steps? Is it about just content marketing, or how do you create that competitive understanding about the competitive landscape and guide the clients to make better sales, B2B sales?
Yeah, the biggest part is just understanding where they fit in this marketplace. So let's say you've got tons of CRMs, different terms of LMSs, tons of cybersecurity options, and all the products are top tier. That all of them are the best. So to figure out why you're the best fit for the client, we will go into the research mode. So we have to figure out from past clients, from learning from deals that we've lost. Why did we lose them? So it's basically just figuring out first where the problem lies, and then go into the content production and delivering that production, that content to the right departments. So it's all about trying to get the low-hanging fruit of closing more sales. And this is usually our KPI, like say, our success rate with competing against the biggest competitor is, let's say, 30%, which is not great. Then we figure out, okay, we're losing because of these 2 or 3 objections. So we have few choices. We can either reposition that objection to, so we have a conversation of something that we're good at, or we create content that fills that knowledge gap, and we kind of plug that hole, and now we're more successful in our product in general. But in both cases, salespeople need to know how to communicate that thing, and they need to use the fresh intelligence. So this intelligence never stops. There's a constant influx of data. We are just kind of like a bridge that turn that data into insights, and we produce content so you're able to win in the short term and in the long term.
Okay, okay. And you talk about a battle card. What is that battle card all about, and how can people utilize it for their sales and marketing?
Yeah, battle card. I like to think about like from the high school days when you use a cheat sheet. Like, okay, you prepare for the history test, but you kind of forgot the names of generals or let's say a year when that battle took place. So a battle card is just a small format, easy to understand overview of your competitor and your positioning against them. And it's primarily for salespeople to use internally. So it just means when you talk with a prospect on the call, and they will ask you usually, hey, we're looking for a solution that is either you or, let's say, Acme company. And then a salesperson knows, okay, Acme company, good. Let me pull this battle card closer. It could be in Notion, it could be in Google Slides, but now a salesperson know exactly what to say, how to dismiss this competitor because we did that research. Let's just say they are not great in safety and security. Okay, listen, Acme company is a great company. We know them. They've been here in the market a lot of times. However, they have some issues with safety recently. So if safety is a big priority in your department, maybe ask Acme company, how do they deal with safety? So you immediately, this is something that is in the battle card called a landmine question, which just initiates a doubt in a prospect's mind. So it is kind of like a CSI FBI method. We did the research, and everything we say, everything we do on that prospect conversation is all about tipping the chance of a sales in our favor. So all objective data, and battle cards is just a small format index card that helps you win the deal exactly right there on that call. On that call.
Right, right. Jehan, you are originally from Slovenia, and you say that you have learned how to perform all these things and understand the game of marketing and sales after making a ton of experiments and mistakes. So a lot of people now you have gathered immense amount of understanding, amounts of knowledge about these lines. In terms of these mistakes, what would you like to tell companies, especially small businesses who are trying to build up their B2B sales strategy, especially uh, how to be wary of these mistakes? What are some of these mistakes you would advise them to avoid that you have learned in your journey to success?
Yeah, of course, the biggest mistake is usually if you want to do everything at once. So I just say, even for a early stage startup, there's so much you can do, and you want to do it all in a short amount of time. However, the best thing to do is first really understand where the market is, and then create one piece at a time that serves to solve that particular pain. So, for example, in my previous career, well, in my early career, my work was done in content marketing. In content marketing, usually, let's get more traffic, let's please the Google search algorithm, let's focus on SEO and so on, which is a long term play and it is important. But what's much more important is to get the first sales. So even in content, what I focused was, let's make sure that we figure out, let's create case studies that prove that we're doing a good job. Let's make sure that we are seen as an expert and then focus on broad keywords after. So at the start of a startup or the start of a company, you have to figure out how to make sure that your offer is just legit and then go broadly. And it's the same for sales and competitive enablement. Figure out who is your top two competitors, make sure that that strategy works and you can follow it because you're looking at close rates, which should go up. And then you can spread or scale that competitive program further to either more competitors or just a broader size of one competitor. Let's just say more slides or more collateral for that one competitor. So yeah, long story short, just figure out what the priority is and fix those first, and then go to a broad spectrum.
Right, right. You talk, that organizations, small businesses, especially looking from their point of view, is that they all should watch the market, build up a program that informs them about what their competitors are doing, and react in a calm, strategic way by building the right roadmap. From a small business point of view, which is trying to grow, how can they enable them to do this big thing? Big organizations can have that resource, but a small organization itself is trying to understand their own market. How do they fully understand the big landscape and then take the right steps? By the time they take, it is such a tedious task or a big task or tremendous task, which is how can one do that? What are the tools? What are the resources? If you would like to advise them about.
Yeah, it's as we mentioned before. There's so much competition out there, and there's new companies popping up left and right. And you need to find a place under the sun for your company, and you have to look at this like a holy trinity of where you fit in. And you can only do this first if you talk to your customers all the time to figure out their needs. You look at your competitors, what are they doing, or where are they dropping the ball or are not as great at it, and then look at the overall trends. So right now, in this market, companies are focused on anything that is revenue generating. So if I was starting a startup today, I would figure out what is the one thing that I can solve to increase revenue as fast as possible, and how can I be as close to the revenue goals as possible for other clients. So I would look at what are the companies solving this issue now and how I can do it better or differently, and then test it out with my customer base or just try to get early stage users, test it, and then launch it when I have really good confidence based on those experiments.
Right, right. One thing you also talk about, imposter syndrome, especially from if it's a case of immigrants, like you coming from Slovenia, a lot of people from different parts of the world go to the US. And when you deal with those big shots or difficult assignments or those mandates, you may just, find it difficult to comprehend it all, and figure out how to do it. The same also happens with small businesses, even if they are situated at the same place. When you are talking with big clients, big mandates, and you've got some big thing coming in onto your plate, you tend to get a bit overwhelmed. Sometimes you just don't know how to react to that. And nowadays, orders, deals can come into for smaller businesses also. How do you work your mindset? How do you deal with that situation, both from an immigrant point of view and also from a small business point of view?
Mhm. Yeah, I think almost everybody's got this imposter syndrome, even if you're immigrant or not. And at one point, we were all immigrants, let's be honest. The best way to do it, and I'm still struggling with this today, is your past performance, your past experience first. You can stack those little wins. You can, if you've done a really good job at early stage startup, that's one little checkpoint that you're doing a good job. Then maybe you have a mid-market client and you've done something great there. Then you work at the company and you increase your skill sets and you have proof that you're doing a good job. So that's one way. And the second thing is I'm a big fan of, I call it half-court shots. So what does mean is just do it. Look, I'm going to reach out to head of sales from at Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Snowflake or whatever good big company. It's going to be personalized. There's a small chance that they're going to read my email, but I make sure that it's written personalized, that it's written from me. It's not a mass email. And hey, sometimes it works. And I get to the conversation and then we talk. I understand their problem. If I don't know how to help them, I'll see and find someone that could. But if there's a fit, I'll do a small favor, and hopefully that will lead to somewhere good down the line. So it's kind of like just being confident and play your luck card, but also rely on your previous experiments that prove that you're doing a good job. So I think those two things are mandatory.
Absolutely. You have given some great advice on all the different questions that I asked for the audience, for a lot of small business, especially. And I'm sure a lot of these things will be handy for them. But there is so much still to learn. So, how can people learn from you more, connect with you? And also, especially if there are clients who want to connect with you for, grow and scale so that they can get your great service.
Right. So anybody can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm most active there. Just put my name and surname, and I accept every connection. And for competitive and sales enablement, if you're in a competitive environment and you need to increase your sales, go on Grow and Scale, leave us a message or DM me. Happy to talk to you, explore what we can do. And if I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. But if I can, I'll guarantee you I will improve your win rates. So that's it.
Wonderful. With this, wonderful, wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thanks, AJ. This has been fun.